So now we're going over the talmudic stories regarding risking or sacrificing yourself, and then sacrificing yourself for others. So one is just risking your own life. This is the in Avodah Zarah Chaf Zayin of a Beis. If you're, are you allowed to go to a witch doctor? If there's a suffix whether or not you're going to live or die, you can't go to Vaday Meis Misrapim. But if you're definitely going to die, if you don't go to him, you should go, because so Rashi explains, if you know that if you don't get healed, you're going to die, and there's no Yisrael to be your rofe, you're allowed to go to the to the witch doctor. Because if you don't do it, you're going to die. In other words, you're allowed to risk, you're allowed to sacrifice Chayisha for the possibility of Chayolam, but that's your self-risk. We already went over the Gemara in Bavli. You're allowed to risk your own life in order to make a living. You could look up the Ikvei Hatzon is a book written by Rav Shechter. I believe he uses this as a strong source for autonomy in medical decisions and life decisions. We went over that just a few minutes ago, but would like to spend quite a bit of time explaining the famous machlokes bavli yerushalmi as they discuss in the halachic literature regarding this machlokes of risking your life for another person. Very rarely do you say, "Oh, it's a machlokes bavli yerushalmi." So investigating where this comes from is very interesting to me. So first of all, we see in the Mishnah Torah, it says, right? If you're able to save somebody, you don't, you are over this avera of lo tamod al damrecha. And if you look at the Kesef Mishnah, the Kesef Mishnah in the Mishnah Torah says, because of Hagos Maimin Avar lo Tamud. Where Yerushalmi Masik Afilu Lahachnis Atzmo Suffix Sakana Chaya. Even if you put yourself into a suffix sakana, you're a chayav. He quotes the Hagos Maimin. So of course I look at the Hagos Maimin on the Mishnah Torah, and I didn't see it there on this in the Mishnah Torah by the Shmiras HaNefesh. I didn't Hilchos Rutzeach Shmiras HaNefesh. I looked it up. I don't see it. Turns out it's brought down in the article "Risking One's Life to Save Another" by Rabbi Michael Taubes, that this Hagos Maimin that he's referring to is not in all editions. It's in a special edition, one by some Rabbi Ephraim, something or other, that he put together a different Mishnah Torah, and it's in the back there. So in other words, it was a different Hagos Maimin. So where is this source from? So if you look in the She'iltos of Rabbi Chai Gaon, written in the 700s, there is the halachic Shela, written by Naftali Tzvi Yehuda Berlin, the Netziv in the 1800s, and there in the She'iltos, Parsha Shlach, he's talking about the case where, which we're going to get to later, that people went up to Rabbi Tarfon and asked him to watch over these three people that were accused of murdering. There was a rumor that they killed somebody. They went to Rabbi Tarfon. They said, please watch us. And basically Rabbi Tarfon said, I can't watch you. During this, the analysis over here, I will say over here, look over here, what Naftali Tzvi Yehuda Berlin says, behind you, Kamosha Kasu, Mahagos Maimin, Bahavio Beis Yosef, the Mechuyev Likanes Suffix Sakana, Mishfil Vadai Bikuch Nefesh Chavera. And this is the Zel Lashon HaYerushalmi, Trumos, Perachet, so he tells us where to go. Rav Isi Tatzid In other words, the Netziv tells us where to look. Turns out it's the Talmud Yerushalmi, and the story is that Rabbi Hisi was taken as a captive, and Rabbi Yonasan said, "Oh, there's no way to save him. Just let him go." Reish Lakish says, I'm gonna go out and risk my life and get him." He ends up risking his life, and he gets him. From there, we see at least one source that you should sacrifice your life for another person. The other source is potentially, that's the question, where is it? It's a machlokes bavli yerushalmi, so we see the yerushalmi source. What about the bavli? Well, we just talked about Lida 61a. This is that story of the murderers that came to Rabbi Tarfon, and they said, these are Jewish murderers or potential murderers, and they asked to be watched by Rabbi Tarfon. And he said, famous statement here, Hi lish nabisha avagav de kabule lo mibae mechash le mibae. Even though I'm not accepting lashon hara that you guys are murderers, but I still have to be mindful that it's there. And he said, Zilu asun tamru nafshaychu, go and hide yourself. You have to just hide yourself. And there's actually a whole discussion of why Rabbi Tarfon said that. He should have, actually going back over here, Im hayabar the Rabbi Tarfon she'eno ela alila sheker hayam mizdakek letamrinu. If he would have known for sure that it was a lie, he definitely would have saved them. But because he wasn't sure, there's a question why he shouldn't have to sacrifice his life for that. That's, in other words, that's the reason why he's not in that case needing to sacrifice. But this is considered by some to be the machlokes bavli part to the yerushalmi. So this is page number 6.